I feel very proud to be part of the defence team here at Avalon. Avalon is the largest
Ladies and gentlemen, from your left, the Falcon turn. From your right, the F-16 Fighting Falcon and the Knife Edge.
Where's yourself?
So about 350 knots.
Now Phil is actually CO2 again.
Yes. Sometimes, but we like help from other people as well.
If you can wave back, please do so. I'm sure he'd enjoy that, actually. There's got to be a smile on his face as he's doing it, surely.
Yeah. If you're flying and not smiling, you're probably doing it wrong.
So, I'm sort of wondering, is this expected? He's actually landing.
Been flying for the last few days with the single formation you're about to see shortly with the Mustang and the Spitfire, F-35 and the Super Hornet. That's fantastic, showing the old and the new, and it's been a real honour to be able to do that and to show what our veterans flew and etc.
Just give us a bit of background on what you actually do apart from this.
Oh, I'm a Qantas pilot normally. Fly A330s out of Melbourne. So this is a reserve role for me, and yeah, a lot more fun than trying not to spill everyone.
And there's the air raid siren that you might have experienced back in the war, which you might remember. That's just a beautiful sight, isn't it, seeing these aircraft?
Invasion of Italy and the invasion of Normandy. He was shot down 4 times during the war, but sadly passed away on the 17th of March, age 105, lest we forget.
There is the first F-35 getting airborne.
35 coming in from the left.
That is just something that is absolutely spectacular.
Very close to the crowd.
So who is actually leading and talking on
the
this?
Mustang, because there you go, the brake, then they'll pull, they'll go to max afterburner, and then the Spitfire and Mustang.
And while we've got you, Berkey, there, the RGB codes on the...
Australian Air Force and the Royal Australian Navy work together, and we have some flares on the left there out of the P8 side too. So we do have action that's going to be happening in the airspace at the moment. So we're going to be showing you. Now, Neil, this is where we talk about impacted by Tropical Cyclone Alfred, and they went in and did a rescue.
Very versatile helicopter. It's from the USA, basically made by Sikorsky and Lockheed Martin. With 24 currently in service and another 12 expected to be in service by the end of the year.
We have the P8 coming around again from the right.
So ordinarily you would see the P8 Poseidon, not necessarily over land, obviously, because they're a maritime operated aircraft. So often you'll see them as low as 100 feet flying along the coastline around Australia to keep that surveillance around the Australian borders.
And you'll notice there that the bomb bay doors are open on the P8 as it flies past the helicopter. P8 is basically a 737-800 fuselage, very heavily modified to include the weapons bay, underwing and under fuselage hard points for weapons, and increased strength and
piece of hardware, and of course the Mark 54 anti-submarine torpedo as well. So they're a very capable and dangerous helicopter.
As flown today by Lieutenant Michael Ski, very experienced Seahawk pilot. He's been flying these for over 10 years and did his training in Florida.
I have to ask you, Neil, because Steve was in the contract booth yesterday, all the Navy guys have beards. Why is that? You're perfectly clean shaven, as is our next guest, our Supersonic pilot.
That's not necessarily true. It is allowed now to have a beard.
You'll see a little later on today, Woody and Langers, our display pilots for the Super Hornet, both of them have beards.
Okay, I stand corrected.
And a couple of the roulettes as well.
This is an amazing bit of flying.
Yeah, so he's really using hands, feet with the collective, the stick and the pedals to do that rotational 720-degree turn. And we mentioned yesterday, you'll notice on one side of the helicopter there are sort of
very closely together, operating inside the battle space. You'll see the Romeo coming in to the right there now, back into the hole.
Once again, this helicopter...
Smooth, unlike today. It would be relatively easy for the guys, but when it gets a little bit bumpy, a little bit turbulent, it is very, very tricky, especially as you can see on the left and right behind the wing there would be a hose out. We actually need to connect with that hose as well to get our fuel.
So when the hose is out, it's right to say that
their role is to secure the airfield for the other aircraft. In the back is a loadmaster, and he'll be directing the troops and aviators in the back of the aircraft as to when it's clear for them to actually leave. And we'll see them come out in a defensive position and protect the airfield for the aircraft as they come through. So here come the aviators of number 1 Security Forces Squadron.
Now, how many
find people that they can carry quite successfully and land on some of these?
I have.
So we're going to see it do a pitch out into circuit and come in, do a landing as the C-27J Spartan lifts its ramp and gets ready for takeoff.
Now, as you see, there are only 6 troops on the ground, but they're all highly capable, so they are available at a moment's notice to defensive posture now, whilst the Charlie 130 lands. After this circuit. The Charlie 130 is a Lockheed Hercules, basically. This is a J model. There have been a huge number of models of Hercules. 30 as a minimum. You've got a pilot, co-pilot and a loadmaster. It's a tactical and medium transport aircraft this, and it's got enhanced communications, so it can get as much situational awareness through links as pretty much the rest of the force. Is that right, Clutch?
Absolutely it is. Yeah, absolutely right. So through the link networks that we have, through all of the different sensors and data fusion that we have across the ADF, especially when we integrate is where we see that the most. So every platform brings something to the fight, and every platform has its right place as well. So you're only seeing a very small demonstration of the capability here today in the ADF showcase, but when we do these training missions and exercises like Talisman Sabre, and when we go across the US as well, and it's also from the air side aspect, but then the weapon systems also would be more of the mission planning, like internal mission planning.
Very shortly, put the gas on basically, and we'll accelerate down the runway for a takeoff. Now, comparison of size, as you see, the C-17 almost seems to control the Hercules.
Like we spoke about before, in particular the E7, but also the JTAC that's been on the ground passing different lines. I had a good think about what I wanted to do in my life, and I realised that, hey, I can do this if I graduate high school, and I just apply myself would be my biggest point. And what was your inspiration? Honestly, it was flying Route 5, watching the pilots fly Route 5 in Brisbane, so Brizzy Boy, and then seeing the Super Hornet was just phenomenal.
And last year you got the amazing opportunity to fly that route as well.
I absolutely did, and so did the C-17, which everyone's going to see land here in a second.
Now, this is a strategic cargo aircraft, but it can also work in a tactical role, and with the enormous reverse thrusters, the spoilers and the flaps, it can land pretty much on a very short runway. It can land on an unprepared runway, it can land on ice. There is pretty much nowhere this thing can go.
And it does go to Antarctica.
Absolutely.
In support of a program in Southern Air Force. And what are we seeing now, Neil?
So we also a simulated attack profile now from the F-18Fs, right?
Absolutely. So we've got Glib and Bam Bam rolling in now for a simulated strafe pass with some flares popping out, and then followed by that we've got Freddie and Winnie in Dash 2 also conducting a strafe pass.
You can go and check out at Got First. So you'll see a fairly short tactical takeoff from the C-17.
The engines are basically working
And we do have a request from the displays here today.
I think I've got them.
What a great camera opportunity.
That is engineering.
Further away, so giving away as they pitch into the circuit.
They just spark that idea in people that military aviation could be for them?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I think it's one thing seeing it on social media, and it's one thing seeing it on the news, but actually to get to see an F-35 as just touched down, just to get to see that in person, to go up and actually get to talk to the aircrew, talk up and say good day. We've got a few giveaways with pins and things like that, so feel free.
Get a photo and an autograph.
And just to put this into perspective, you are married, right?
I am, yeah.
Okay, just wanted to put that out.
In World War II, what was it used for? What were some of the different types of missions?
Yeah, so we talked about light transport, reconnaissance, but there are a lot of navigators and bombardiers trained by the US military.
Everyone had a military designation. Then I don't know if it was called the Beach 18, but the military just loved giving designations to things.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. I wish I could.
Or a mothership?
the target drones as well. Maybe the historians can tell us a little bit about that.
Well, the target drones were introduced at the end of the war. The Germans were very fond of them, certainly at the end of the war. So radio-controlled flying bombs.
Neil Whitehead, who'll lead us through this display.
Just as we get ourselves rearranged here in the commentary booth, relax, settle back. We're in for a bit of interesting commentary here.
Main role is anti-submarine warfare and maritime strike. We can also do intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance missions. It's based on a 737 and it's got about 83. So actually the P8 has its own production line. Yeah, right. So it's not a repurposed airframe as is the E7 old BBJs. This is on its own production line.
They've been employed around the world over the last few years to replace the P3 and from the UK the Nimrod. So how much of a difference is there? Was it jet engines as opposed to turboprops?
That's correct. So performance-wise, a lot. The range we can get with this, especially with the air-to-air refueling capability that we have. So we can tank with the KC-30, extend our range up to 20 hours with augmented crew as well. In terms of emission processing power, it's very new, so it's very efficient and it's a marked advancement over the P3.
And the whole purpose of this aircraft, realistically, what is it all about?
Yeah, like I said before, anti-submarine warfare and maritime patrol. So we have a few mission types being anti-submarine warfare, maritime strike, so targeting surface ships, intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, and then we also have the capability to do search and air rescue.
The P3 Orion, which you replaced, used to have a big boom out the back that would hunt for submarines. This aircraft doesn't have that, but it's still got the ability to find subs. How do you do it these days?
Yep, so we don't have the mad boom anymore, which is the magnetic travel line. If you want to travel in a straight line, it's about 7,000 kilometres worth of transit.
And that's without refueling.
Down, but obviously not going to land. Tell me, what is that called? What sort of pass?
This is a dirty pass.
And what does that mean?
The flaps are out, the gear's down, we configured the aircraft for a simulated landing, and the aircraft's making a lot of drag, so it's often referred to as a dirty pass, as opposed to a clean pass, where the gear's up, flaps are up, and the aircraft is nice and
I don't believe it. I'm going to have to interrupt the CEO of AMDAR Foundation Limited. But just to let you know, ladies and gentlemen, from the left, we have the glorious Spartan.
The C-27J. Justin, we know things can go wrong at air shows. We pray that they don't, but when they do, the response of the first responders, that's key to survival, isn't it?
It was incredible, the response. So we set up an ECC, what was also already set up for the whole show. We had the best people, probably in Australia really, the police, the ambulance, all there. I've heard mixed reports that he's conscious of talking, but I know that he's very lucky. And I just want to wish him all the best.
That's the C-27.
Doing its party trick. The C-27J plays a vital role in regional peacetime operations, providing critical support for humanitarian and disaster relief efforts, search and rescue missions, aeromedical evacuations, essential airlift tasks, including troop movements, cargo transport, airdrop operations, you name it, this thing does it. And I think we have, oh yes we do, we have back in the cockpit here, Greg Hinks, and we have Justin Stevens. Welcome guys.
Thank you very much. After Hinks here, after very much. What a beautiful day for this. So Steve, what have we just seen? We've seen a bit of it may not have the same short takeoff and landing. It really does have some increased capabilities for Air Force.
Absolutely. Nothing can really totally replace a Caribou, but this comes pretty close.
Nice.
It's got the ability to take off in those tight strips up around Papua New Guinea that the Caribou was renowned for, and the Alpha support were quite instrumental.
So who's the crew on the aircraft today?
Oh, we got Gareth Gordon and Andrew Benreich.
They're taxiing to backtrack, so you'll get to see them up close and personal before their exhilarating display, which will be commentated.